Hello, and welcome to the QMS certification channel. Today we're going to talk about the context of the organization in ISO management systems and how to apply it effectively without making it unnecessarily complicated. But first, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, comment, and share it with colleagues and professionals who are also interested in this topic. The context of the organization is a requirement present in all ISO management system standards that follow the harmonized structure, also known previously as Annex SL. In other words, whether you are implementing ISO 9001, ISO 14001, ISO 45001, ISO/IEC 27001, or another management system standard, Clause 4, context of the organization, is always one of the first requirements. Now, what is one of the biggest mistakes organizations make when implementing this requirement? They turn it into bureaucracy. Organizations often create highly technical presentations, complex matrices, or static SWOT analyses that are copied and pasted into the system, but that add no real strategic value. The real question is, does your context analysis actually reflect your organization? Does it represent your culture, your market, your challenges, your risks, and your strategic direction? That is the real purpose of this clause. So let's step back and understand why ISO introduced this concept in the first place. When the ISO technical committees developed the harmonized structure, the intention was very clear. Before implementing a management system, organizations should first understand who they are, where they operate, what influences them, and what risks and opportunities exist within their environment. The context requirement was created to encourage strategic thinking before operational implementation. That is why it appears at the beginning of the standard. Now, how should organizations approach this practically? First, understand that context analysis is not just a document, it is a strategic exercise. And effective strategic analysis requires three elements: inputs, analysis, outputs. One of the biggest problems in organizations is that they perform only the analysis step, usually through a SWOT matrix, without gathering meaningful inputs or generating practical outputs. That makes the exercise ineffective. Before building a SWOT analysis, organizations should first evaluate the broader external environment. This is where tools like pestle analysis become useful. A pestle analysis helps evaluate political factors, economic factors, social factors, technological changes, legal requirements, environmental conditions. These are macro-level inputs. After analyzing the macro environment, organizations can then move into internal analysis and strategic evaluation. At that point, tools like SWOT become much more meaningful. Now the organization can identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats, but the process should not stop there. A SWOT analysis without action is incomplete. The real value comes from what happens next. Organizations should use the results of the context analysis to identify risks and opportunities, strengthen weak areas, develop operational controls, support strategic planning, and align the management system with business reality. This is why Clause 4 is so important. It is not just the first requirement in the standard, it is the foundation of the management system. From the organizational context, organizations define interested parties, scope of the management system, strategic risks and opportunities, and the overall direction of the system itself. Everything else in the standard builds on that foundation: leadership, planning, operational control, performance evaluation, improvement. All of it depends on a strong understanding of organizational context. So remember, the context of the organization is not a bureaucratic requirement. It is the strategic brain of the management system. When implemented properly, it transforms ISO implementation from a compliance exercise into a true management tool. Thank you for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.